Hello and welcome to episode 278 of the Daily Sales Message Sales Podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. And today I'm going to tell you why you're not going to leave Netflix. Ultimately, and if you already left Netflix, then don't listen to this episode because you're ruining my logic. But there we go. If you're a Netflix subscriber, as I have been for a few years now, there's a high chance that you're probably never going to leave. And that's because they've got a couple of things worked out really well, but it all comes back to the value they provide you versus what you pay, and this notion of fear of missing out. You pay a relatively low amount to be a member of Netflix, and you get a relatively high amount of value. New shows and films and things are being added all the time. Compared to the cost of other forms of entertainment, a Netflix subscription is pretty darn good value. And no, I'm not, selling for them. There won't be a link in the description, but it's generally accepted. So they're giving a lot of value for a fairly low price point, but they're also adding new stuff all the time. So they're harnessing FOMO, fear of missing out. You want to leave because you leave and then that amazing new TV show happens. Everybody's talking about it. No, you don't have Netflix anymore and you can't watch it. So FOMO, fear of missing out. But just this value inversion that they have, where new things are being added all the time. There's bajillions of TV shows and films and stuff on there already. For the small amount of money that you pay, it's like, even if I only watch one show a month, a year, one film a year, whatever, I get my money back. It's worth the spend, and there we go. And those are the two reasons. That's how they keep you, I was going to say trapped. That's not very fair, is it? That's how they keep you trapped in a Netflix subscription. They give you an incredibly high amount of value, and by adding new things all the time, they generate this sense of FOMO. So for those two reasons, you don't want to quit. You don't want to leave. So in your own business, how is that applicable? How can you provide so much disgustingly high amount of value to your buyer that they wouldn't even dream of leaving or not buying from you? How can you really, really go to town on that, give them as much as possible? And if you have a longevity kind of offering with monthly recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, how could you, or a subscription, how could you create that sense of FOMO? Talk about things that are coming out in the next 6 months. These are things that are coming. You'll notice this is something else that Netflix does. Coming up, these films, coming up, these TV shows. Because if you're thinking of quitting, you'll see, oh, that's coming in a week's time. I'll watch that first and then I'll quit. And they know by that time you'll probably forgotten. You'll watch it, you'll enjoy it, and things will go on. So how can you keep people locked in by teasing them in anticipation of future things that are coming, so they have FOMO, they don't want to leave? And how can you really, really just destroy people with the amount of value you give them, just overwhelm them with huge amounts of value, so they just think what they're paying for your product or service is an absolute steal in the first place? That's it for this episode of the Daily Sales Message. Tomorrow in episode, as I read my notes, 279, where do you come in? That's my question tomorrow. Where do you come in? We'll answer that tomorrow in 279. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please hop on over to LinkedIn. Connect with me there. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what you like about the podcast. Always lovely to hear from listeners from around the world. It goes to so many places, this podcast. Always surprises me. People all corners of the world. So please hop on over to LinkedIn. Connect with me there. Shoot me a DM. Lovely to hear from you. In the meantime, that's it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another extremely fast-talking edition of the Daily Sales Message Sales Podcast.